Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael O'Malley with the Severe Weather Outlook and Discussion for Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, recorded around 4:31 p.m. Eastern Time. We do have a small isolated enhanced risk area from northern Alabama, from the northern quarter of Alabama in through southern Tennessee, due to a convergence zone. We'll show you that here in just a minute. The tornado probabilities today, 10 hatched area, 10 SIG, with potential for some significant, isolated strong tornadoes here across northern Alabama and through southern Tennessee today, with the general 5% risk in covering pretty much all of central and southern Tennessee, portions of northwestern and northern Mississippi and northwestern Georgia, with a marginal risk for tornadoes sliding all the way down in through the Carolinas and through South Carolina, even portions of extreme far west or far southwestern North Carolina, including most of Tennessee, portions of Arkansas, and the majority of central Mississippi and Alabama today. The reason for this is we do have a strong return flow. You can see here, this is coming off of pivotalweather.com. This is the analyzed dew points today as of 19Z, so 19 Zulu time, about 4 o'clock this afternoon. We do have that strong advection beginning to move into the area as a little bit of a weak surface low begins to develop out here, out towards the west here across Arkansas and Oklahoma. And this will continue to pull moisture northward throughout the day today. And if we go in here to some of the analyzed surface data coming from just about an hour ago, we see that we do have a warm front roughly stretched from right here in central Arkansas through portions of central and northern Mississippi and through extreme northern Alabama, and then kind of stopping right here. We also have some cold air damming coming from the Appalachian Mountains here. You can see the changes in the wind flow out here from the Appalachians. We have sort of a cold wedge dam kind of setting up here across the Appalachians, and this will provide two distinct areas for tornadoes later today. One of the potential areas could be coming across portions of northern Alabama and through Tennessee here, southern Tennessee, right around in this area, right around the warm front, and again across this area in northern Georgia, and just along the boundary in South Carolina. As these storms get ready to cross that area, we could see these storms become brief tornado producers across the Georgia and South Carolina regions, as well as maybe one or two strong tornadoes here across northern Alabama and southern Tennessee and extreme northwestern Mississippi. Looking at some of the sounding data, this is 12Z coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. You can see not a very well established mixed layer at all, but we do have somewhat of a mixed layer that was established there at 12Z. Not a lot of backing with the winds, but again, that will change. As you can see here, the warm frontal position, again, with that kind of streaming a little bit to the north throughout the day today, that should allow the return flow to begin even further up to the north, and this will also produce higher dew points up to the north here. We should get into the mid-60 dew points here by late afternoon and evening across portions of southern Tennessee and northern Alabama. And you can already start to see these 70 dew points here in southern Arkansas, and these higher dew points here, mid-60s and a few low 70s here in northern Mississippi. So these are the warm frontal positions here, and you can kind of see that running all the way down here through Georgia and portion of the Carolinas. Part of that cold, stable air, though, is going to be the inhibiting factor for portions of the Carolinas today. But right along that boundary, we could see a couple small spin-ups there. But for the most part, the photographs at Nashville at 12Z were largely non-favorable for tornadoes. However, once this warm front kicks through, we should see these photographs become enlarged. And you can see here on the high-resolution HER model, this is just for about 3 hours out, right around a supercell developing here, just across the border in through Tennessee. You can see these enlarged photographs with that critical angle nearing 90 degrees, almost a perfect right angle there. These pretty much the boundary winds, only about 15 knots or so, but these upper level winds kicking up towards almost 40 knots, and with this low level jet cranking in almost towards 40 knots here. You can see a little bit of backing with the wind here, and this should be conducive for some severe weather. You can see large instability numbers, somewhat of an elevated mixed layer established on this as well. So we should see a pretty decent cape setup along with some potential for some tornadoes here. Looking at the Birmingham sounding from 12Z, you do notice a little bit more instability in the way of also dew points are higher, around 64 there compared to 46. So the air temperature was about 46, and also the dew point was 46 at Nashville at 12Z. At Birmingham at 12Z was 65 over 64. You notice definitely an elevated mixed layer here, and the photograph's still not as large, only a critical angle of about 7, so not really seeing much in the photographs, but you do notice that there is a little bit more in the way of shear down here, but more importantly, the instability numbers are a little bit on the low side here, but of course this is 12Z, so of course, it's not going to be super high at about 8 o'clock in the morning. And this is the Little Rock sounding, a lot more in the way of the boundary orientation, but still really not seeing much here in the photographs at all. But what you do want to pay attention to is this elevated mixed layer, this big elevated mixed layer, and that's going to be working its way up in through southern Tennessee later today, and these storms should get going. We do suspect that some storms will be first forming across the Mississippi River here, in through extreme western portions of Tennessee and Arkansas, and through northern Mississippi. You could have some supercells developing also here in central Mississippi, tracking across this warm front. Again, just for reference, this warm front is roughly at a position like this throughout today, and will continue to lift northward throughout the day. So it is incredibly important to stay tuned to watches and warnings throughout the day today. Taking a look at the high resolution HER, this is the 19Z run. You do notice these supercells developing here right across the Mississippi in through portions of Tennessee, and even a couple of supercells developing in through portions of northern and central Mississippi, tracking across that warm front, and should develop into more of a line segment later tonight, with potential more so then shifting towards a damaging wind threat. We do have a tornado watch currently that has been posted for portions of Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee, just excluding Nashville, but you can see the probabilities here. High chance for tornadoes, 70%, with a moderate 40% chance of strong tornadoes, EF2 or plus, and the probability of 6 or more combined severe hail and wind is on the high end here at about 90%. So certainly watching these supercells start to potentially develop here across portions of the Mississippi River, and then trek across this warm front later today, and these could put down some significant strong tornadoes here in southern Tennessee, northern Alabama, and extreme northeastern Mississippi. So we will be staying tuned to that. Stay tuned to watches and warnings, and stay safe.